Today's the day that I honestly didn't think we would achieve anymore in this series. It's a day where we achieve our 5-star rating at the airport. So with that, hello and welcome to a new episode of Airport CEO. As always, before we get too far into today's episode, if you should end up enjoying this video, then don't forget to leave a like. That really does help out the series and the channel. And of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. Alright, so let's just check it out. And it might be the most underwhelming way of achieving it, but when we look here, we can see we have 5 stars now in our rating. Why? I do not know. I haven't really done much since the last episode. I haven't really done anything off camera. But we have the 5-star rating now. The only thing I can guess that could have perhaps triggered that is that in the last episode we added the fire and police departments, and that might have been the last missing link to basically have all the different facilities of the airport added to our airport here. If so, then we should have done it a long time ago, but well, here we are. We have the 5-star rating now that we have been chasing for so long. What does that mean? Well, right now, not much, because so far no mods that are 5-star rated have loaded in, but I will be looking into this while I'm recording this episode, and if anything loads in, then of course we will take a look at it and potentially sign it. So our main focus today, of course, is to continue our construction of Terminal 1, and to be honest, I actually think we will be able to complete Terminal 1 today. What we definitely will be achieving today is that we will get some aircraft coming into the terminal, because most of the infrastructure is pretty much done, and that means we do need to make a test to see if we have missed anything and to see that everything runs smoothly. And the only way to do that is just to get some aircraft in. So, or you already saw that I've already signed a few more airlines. I signed now Norwegian Airlines, for example, or Brathens Regional, which are flying again, which is awesome. They didn't for many months, but they are flying again. So I've signed these 2 airlines and EasyJet, I think it was. But anyway, we will get a few aircraft in, and that will mean we will also do a little bit of kind of plane spotting later in the episode. Yeah. The main focus is just to get the terminal ready, and this could potentially be the last kind of normal episode of the series, because once we have finished constructing Terminal 1, we've pretty much achieved everything we want to do. I mean, there isn't much space left to build anything here, and we will have built the 3 terminals, or the 2 real terminals of Copenhagen Airport and Terminal 1, which is our fictional terminal here at the airport, given that Terminal 1 in real life doesn't exist anymore. But yeah, this could very well mean that this is the last regular episode of the series, and if we really achieve everything I want to achieve in this episode, then that would mean that the following episode will be a tour around the entire airport facility as a sort of roundup for the entire series. But there are, of course, still plenty of things that we need to take care of. So firstly, I have, of course, opened up now the connection between Terminal 1 and Terminal 2, so people can now freely walk between these terminals. We have added another shop, and right now I'm working on the 3 lounges that are on the uppermost level of Terminal 1. We basically started off with that last time, but now we of course need to add the interior of these lounges so that we also have that here. But there are of course many other things we still need to take care of, and one of them is we need to check up on our luggage system. Because after I connected everything up with the baggage base, there does seem to be an issue with this little island here of check-in desks. And yeah, so everything seems to be fine up here. Let's go down to see what's happening here. And yeah, okay, that's a simple solution. It looks like I just forgot to add a little piece here of the baggage belts. Now it should be connected up. I mean, now it does have a path all the way to the it doesn't still okay, maybe it just needs a little bit more time. Let's just wait. Okay, now it disappears. Okay, perfect. So now this is also done. This is sorted, so the luggage system should be fully up and running. Alright, so there is of course another area here at Terminal 1 which we have pretty much not been working on so far whatsoever, and that is the underground check-in area for the remote stands. We have 3 remote stands here at Terminal 1, and the idea was that they should all be international stands. So we have 1 medium and 1 large international stand at the main building of Terminal 1, and then out here underground we have the boarding area for the 3 remote international stands. Maybe a little bit contradictory because, I mean, when Terminal 1 still existed in real life, that was only handling internal flights, so flights staying inside of Denmark. So adding international flights over here is kind of pretty much the opposite of what the terminal used to do. But given that the terminal doesn't exist anymore, we have free hands, we can do whatever we want. And I'd like to have a little bit more capacity when it comes to international traffic. So yeah, that's why we have that there, and also because then we can try out again some few things that we haven't done here at the airport yet, because we have no, for example, underground boarding areas whatsoever. We do have some remote stands all the way over at Terminal 3, but we haven't built any of the facilities like this. So yeah, this gives us a little bit more variety, I think. Of course, we shouldn't forget to have the staff room added. That's very important, because from here, of course, we also have the service car parks, parking spots, whatever the game, I've forgotten what it's called in the game, but it doesn't matter, you know what I mean, where the service car parks, and since that's where basically, so that's where the ramp agents will take off to go to the remote stand, so it's a good idea to have a staff room very close to that, so when they come back from their task they can just go into that staff room and don't have to walk all across your airport. Alright, so we have a fairly standard waiting area here around the boarding desk. Obviously then passengers, once they have been checked in and boarded here, they will go outside where there is the bus stop, and from there the bus will then drive overground and then over to the remote stand. So that's the fairly simple layout for this area, but it should be, I mean, I guess the main challenge right now is actually to see if the game will accept this. It should do. I mean, I've been able to connect everything up, and so hopefully this will work, but we will test it out. And so that we are able to test it out, we need to add some flights. So let's see, what can we, I mean, we can pretty much pick whatever we want. Well, LC Express, why not? Of course, today will be tight. I don't think, yeah, okay. For today it's too late, so let's see. Let's see, for tomorrow then should be possible, obviously, to add some flights in if the game lets me. The game is being challenged a little bit. I mean, it's really pushing a bit now because the airport is really large. There are lots of assets in the game, and that can drag down your performance a bit, and I'd be lying if I'd said that this wouldn't be happening to my setup these days. So let's just try to load this again, see if we can move over to the next day. If there, okay, all right. So let's see. I'll see you had a flight that they offered in. Let's just take it here in the morning. But I would like to have more than one flight coming in. I would like to test out a few of these stands. And also see how the terminal is holding up if there are a few aircraft coming in at the same time. Obviously we won't be pushing it completely, but just to get a feeling if things are as they should be. Alright, so these are all, of course, flights, non-international flights, so within Schengen in this case. But let's see if we can find someone who is offering an international flight as well. That would be actually quite nice, because we of course have the international stands as well, and I would like to test that out as well. But right now no one seems to be bothered with international flights. Fly Dubai also not. Okay. So maybe we need to wait a little bit. There will definitely be an offer coming in. Alright, here we have something from Norwegian. That's great. So they do have some international flights. I just picked this one. And well, let's just put it here. So Scandinavian Airlines will have the honor of having the first flight coming into the terminal, but then we will have both non-international and international flights. I think that would be great. So let's see how this is going. Alright, so we've jumped ahead a bit on time to get closer to the arrival time of the first flight, and we can see things are getting busy here at the terminal. It's great to see passengers finally here at Terminal 1. Still quite a few people that are checking in, and I can see I forgot to switch on the baggage reclaim area, so we should definitely do that. But yeah, it's really awesome to finally see some passengers actually over here. It's the first time. We've basically only just finished constructing the terminal. Alright, so let's see. Let's just take a look around to see if everything is going just the way it should. So passengers are obviously coming up here. Capacity at the security checks is of course not in any way being pushed, and we still have 2 of them that haven't even been switched on. So we can also make this look a little bit nicer by actually adding some floor here. Some small minor improvements still are needed here and there, but the majority of the works at this terminal have of course been completed. Alright, so still no arrival. The time has definitely passed, so the aircraft should definitely be on the ground. Probably it is taxiing towards the terminal at the moment. But let's see. Okay, we're getting a little bit of a queue here at the security check, but nothing too bad. I mean, we've seen much worse over at Terminal 2 and 3. And I doubt that we will ever reach full capacity here with the amount of stands we have and the amount of security checks we have corresponding to that. So let's see. Yeah, so the time has definitely passed. So the aircraft should be on the ground and on its way, but of course we do know that there can be a bit of congestion here at the airport, so it can take a little while before the aircraft actually arrives. So let's see. Of course, we also do not know from which runway the aircraft is actually coming. I mean, it would have been better if it had landed on the runway just above us, but probably it came in. Let's see, where are you going? No, you're not going towards Terminal 1. Here we have another Scandinavian Airlines. That could be our aircraft. So you've come in from one of the 2 runways to, well, when we're looking at it here to the left of us. Let's just follow you for a while, see where you're going. So you're turning here, that's already that's already a good sign. So now there are 2 choices. You could go down to A of Terminal 2, or you could come over here to Terminal 1. Let's see, the other aircraft are waiting, so that's also a good sign. Could mean that you have to cross here. Let's see. Yes, of course. So that is our first arrival. It must, yeah, it has to be. Perfect. Alright, so let's see how this is going. The very first arrival, this Scandinavian Airlines Airbus A320. Very nice. And it is pushing into the ramp. Alright, so jet bridge is docking on. Very nice. Let's see what's happening here. If everything works, I mean, this is the very first flight, so this is quite the nerve-wracking moment to see if we've messed something up here or if everything will be working out. So passengers are already deboarding, so that is great. The very first passengers arriving here at the terminal. An historic moment. Alright, so let's see. So that is actually, service round has been completed. That's a very good sign, because that's one thing that often seems to have issues in the game, and I think it's just because there's enough, when there is not enough ramp agents, then the service round is something that can be tricky, but that's already been completed, so that's really, really good. And some first GSE is also arriving, so that's the cleaning truck. Alright, and this does very much look like a fuel truck. Here we also have a baggage loader coming up, I can see that. Alright, so this is good, the GSE is arriving. Maybe it could have arrived a bit earlier, given that the aircraft took some time actually arriving to the ramp, but just the fact that the service rounds have been completed is a very, very good sign for this turnaround. But obviously the core issue of the game will remain and is still that staff is you're always short on staff. So the other aircraft has also arrived, we can see there. So let's see, deboarding, service round, refueling completed, cleaning is completed. So now it's catering, baggage loading in progress. They apparently did not have any luggage with them. Okay, baggage unloading not requested, that's interesting. Let's see with the LC Express. Also no luggage coming in. Okay, I mean, it's good for the service round or for the turnaround because it means one task less to be done, but I'm actually a bit surprised that they didn't have any luggage with them. But okay. So yeah, catering still needs to be done. I guess catering can take a while because that's from the far end of the airport grounds. So the catering truck could take a while to actually arrive. This could become an issue. All the other GSE is fairly close by, but catering, that is quite a far distance away, at least where the catering truck needs to come from. So the Norwegian has also arrived here with our international zone, so I can see passengers are already at the gate, so that's also a good thing. Means they can reach this area without any issues. Plane is being refueled. So far, so good. I mean, this could definitely have gone much, much worse. Passengers are leaving as well, but it doesn't seem to be that there's any luggage coming in. I mean, okay, this is okay. I mean, I'm a bit puzzled, to be honest, that none of these aircraft seem to have come in with any luggage. I mean, it could just be that they didn't have any luggage on board, but maybe we have an issue. Maybe I've missed something. I mean, this is all connected up. Baggage bay. This is all as it should be. Ah, wait. Baggage bay connection. Okay, it doesn't have... Okay. Okay. So perhaps the game just noticed that there wasn't really the possibility of serving luggage, and that's why they came in without. I mean, that would be great, but obviously now we should also have inbound luggage. These small things, that's the things we need to catch. And there are so many of them, so if that's the only issue we have, I would say we are doing really well. But I can see here the ATR is being loaded, even though it is technically being loaded into the cabin. But yeah, that's a minor detail of the game. Because obviously the ATR has the cargo hold in the front of the cabin and not in the back. But okay. I will forgive the game for that. But everything seems to be done here now except for boarding. Boarding hasn't started yet, but everything else is done. That's actually pretty good. Yeah, you can see here the jet bridge is connecting with where the cargo hold of the ATR actually is. But yeah, minor details. So you're going to Leipzig. Interesting. Okay. But I would very much like to see the passengers boarding the aircraft now. I mean, if everything else is done, why can't they just start? Okay, I mean, okay, they still have plenty of time, but I would like to see them start boarding. Okay, catering for the SAS is still not arrived. That's a bit concerning. Pushback truck is turning up for the ATR. That's good. So it's really just the boarding that they, for some reason, haven't started yet. Here with the Norwegian, it's also catering. Baggage loading hasn't even started yet. That's also a bit concerning, but I can see a catering truck arriving. That should be for the Norwegian, hopefully. No? No? Okay. Where are you going? Oh, that must be for the Scandinavian. That must be for the Scandinavian. And that's the last thing that needs to be done here. So everything else has been done. Boarding has been done. Luggage has been loaded, so that's good news. And catering is arriving here. Okay. But boarding for the LC still hasn't started yet. I wonder if there's just some staff missing here. Okay, they still have a bit of time. Technically, none of them are delayed by now. And catering is now going on with the Scandinavian. And seems to be done. Okay. I guess it's done, or is it just because they run out of time? I guess it's done. I mean, it had 32 passengers and they loaded 34 pieces of catering. So I guess that's alright. So that should mean, yeah, beacon is on and the aircraft is being pushed and perfectly on time. Alright, I mean, that, given that the aircraft actually took quite a while to actually arrive here and basically arrived late, if you would like to say so, at least into the ramp, that's a good turnaround. That's a very good turnaround. Perfectly on time, pushed out. What about you, Norwegian? What's going on here? Catering we're waiting on. So catering could really become an issue here because that will always take quite a while to arrive. That could really delay aircraft. I think the rest seems to run quite well. I mean, yeah, that's promising. And we still have plenty of time, actually. Okay, so the Norwegian should also be able to get out in time. Now the question is about the LC Express. Okay, that seems to be done as well. I mean, the pushback truck is pushing right now. How is it going? Even a little bit ahead of time. I am astounded. I am astounded. I would have thought that there would be many more issues, but this seems to run really well, and it works quite nicely with the GSE coming in rather quickly because we have the vehicle depots just underground. So the way they need to take is rather short. So that's great. And they don't get stuck in traffic over at terminals 2 and 3. So that's also very nice. So, and Norwegian. Everything is done now. Catering has been loaded as well. Pushback truck is already there. Ahead of time. Let's see if they're pushing ahead of time. I mean, they have retracted the jet bridge and they do seem to push any moment now. Or they're waiting for something. No, they're pushing. Okay, great. Okay, so we have again jumped a bit in time because I wanted to test out a few more things here at the terminal. Also, the remote stands need to be tested out and we have an arrival here. This, even though it has a different livery, is a Saudia, which is coming in very, very late. And that's because the taxiway took way too long. But that's an issue that is really difficult to sort out here. Because we just have too many aircraft taxiing around and sometimes they get stuck. But the positive thing is that the bus already is here and the air stairs as well. But the episode is getting rather long and we are basically getting towards the end of not just this episode but also now this series. Terminal 1 is fully constructed and most of the things do seem to run perfectly fine. The last thing, as I say, I want to test out is the remote stands. To see if everything works out there. If you're watching this video on release, then tomorrow I will have in the community tab a poll going up where I'm asking you about if there is an interest for a new season of airportceo or not. If you're watching this later, then check out the community tab and see if you can find the poll. Because I would very much like to know if people are still interested in getting another series. If I do another series, it will definitely be in a few months' time. I will take a summer break from the game and then probably return in autumn or maybe winter with a 5th season if there is interest for it. And also, of course, at the time, if I actually fill up for it. Because if there's no interest in it, I can play this game whenever I want. But if there's no interest in these videos, then I could spend the time that I'm working on these videos on many other things instead. So it's I'll be happy anyway, but I'm also happy to do these videos. But of course, if the majority of people say it's not really something that interests us, then that's just how it is. No hard feelings, but then of course I might spend my time doing other things. But yeah, so just check out the community tab and see and leave a vote there if you are interested in this. Yeah, so it's been a huge pleasure. I mean, it's not the very last episode in the series. Next time, I think we will do what we normally used to do when we end a series, and that is doing a grand tour of the entire airport. So I do hope that you will stick around for that. I will stay a little bit here now and check out that everything runs as it should be. There could perhaps be some issues with the remote stands. I need to check up on that, and there are a few minor things I need to do. I need to add some light poles and stuff like that for the drop-off zones for Terminal 1, but I don't think that's of any interest for you guys to actually watch. So I will do that off camera, and then that means next time we will do a grand tour of the entire airport facility as the final episode in the series. With that, I would like to say thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much for having watched the series so far. I do hope that you have enjoyed not just this video, but of course also the series in total. And if you have so, then I would be very happy if you left a like. And of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? Because especially if we are doing a 5th season, then you of course will get notified once a new video is up. And I can see here I forgot to add the baggage destroyer. So of course we have to do that as the last thing in today's episode. Alright guys, with that I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.